And we are live. All right, guys. I know I don't sound like myself, but there's a reason. So I have something really quick to say, and then that's going to be it. And then the stream is over. So that's all this was. It was going to be 30 seconds, and then it's done. So there's been a lot of drama concerning the proper villains in the past. A lot of bad feeling in that in a lot of directions. I understand I fucked up. It's as simple as that. We're not going to rehash anything. We are moving forward. The proper villains, the drama, the bad vibes, all the things are in the past now. And we're moving in a brand new direction. However, just because the proper villains are in the past doesn't mean we're going to forget them or disrespect them. Lo-Fi, Zell, and Brockus helped me make the proper villains. What they were. Without their influence, without the three of them, none of this new team you listen to today would have had this chance in the first place. The proper villains as a show, it's gone. Okay? The proper villains as people, as a standard to meet and surpass, will continue. And now, I present to you the Army of Snarkness. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while. Now, I know I've done some weird things in the past. This is something completely new. You see, I did something a little off. I chased away the people that were rather helpful to me. And I did it stupidly, but that's fine. I mean, I have this robot now who, I don't know, decided to help me interdimensionally travel. That was interesting. And I came across someone, and I'm going to introduce you to him now. Well, them now. You see, you've heard of them. The man, the myth, the monster. And right now he's over in the corner chomping on something. Zach, put that... Oh, Drake, hello.
Yeah, he's still really pissed off that you haven't got him a pirate hat.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the trio. Their names are Zach, Drake, and Shade. The man,
How's it going, everyone?
The monster. I don't know. Zach, Drake, I'm sorry.
What's up?
Do you know if these people know if the video of us having our interview got leaked?
I'm assuming they would know. They are standing here watching us do strange things on the internet.
That's very true. Very true indeed. Now, let me explain something before we get too much into it. I have developed an algorithm that, just like with my former teammates, allowed me to find certain interesting individuals. I've never come in contact with a vampire before, but there he is. They are. I don't know how it works, but there's 3 of them in one.
We'll accept pretty much whatever epithet you wish to give us.
Well, like I said, I'm going to call you the trio. Lovingly, of course. It's a term of endearment.
Please don't put your loving anywhere near me.
It's not anything that you haven't experienced before.
I have never experienced your love, nor will I ever.
And I have also had a chance, through the algorithm and Sparky's interdimensional travel, to find someone, well, someone a little mundane when you first look at her. She's very plain Jane, except for these brilliant yellow eyes and pretty much anime white hair. If you've ever thought that death rode a white horse, you'd be wrong, because in this case, she drives a Shelby. On top of that, if you've ever heard the screams, I have no idea how to introduce this woman because she is just someone I've never thought I'd ever meet. Lady Death herself. Sarah.
I think that was probably the
One
most
of the...
awkward introductions I've ever experienced.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I don't know how to introduce one of the riders of the apocalypse. Could you help me out there?
I could. But
From the horrible depths of the Book of Revelations comes a rider on a horse made for destruction. Put your hands together, clap your wuss names with digits, and prepare yourselves for the Lady of Death.
Why, thank you, Zach. That was an excellent introduction. Antoine, you should take lessons.
I had to get everybody else to help. It was a unified effort.
Well, would you thank them for me?
No.
All right, I'll thank them later then.
All right. Well, trio, Sarah, I know this is new for you, but we are broadcasting into a different dimension. I want you to understand... Yes, really. Why do you think I kept yelling at that goddamn robot? To get things fixed, I needed to run my algorithm so we could do something like this. So, there are people watching us right now, and I want you to say hello.
Hello, how's everyone? Hello, Ali, Kadant, Tyro. Hello, people.
And there's some jackass named Antihero Broadcast in the chat as well.
I have no idea who he might be.
So...
There's also someone named Zar. Hello, Zar.
And I also saw Big T in the chat as well. How's it going, Big T? And Onvir, Razriel, Tom, Jacob. All right. So we have a bunch of people together, and Bloodletter 87. Now.
Thank you, Bloodletter. I appreciate that.
I would like to... Oh, Slayer Raven is here too.
Hello, Slayer.
So I used to call this show that I would do The Proper Villains. I can't do that anymore. But in my search, I have come across, as I've shown here, a couple of interesting people. It's not just a small team anymore. I have the trio. I have the rider of the apocalypse and her three sisters. We're not just a small group. We're an army. An army of Snarkness.
An army of one. Be all you can be.
Oh, the girls told me to tell you they're having a lovely time. Thank you for inviting them.
God. Just have them not destroy the hideout. It's brand new.
I have donuts.
They have not broken anything in the hideout.
I have delicious, delicious mini powdered donuts.
That sounds fairly tasty. May I have
I have eaten nearly an entire bag.
Oh dear.
Zach?
That can't be good.
I don't think I'm supposed to have these.
No, you're a vampire, Zach. You're supposed to be feeding on blood.
Shit.
Oh, this show is going wonderful already.
But they were delicious, Kadant. I could not say no. They were calling my name. They were like, Zach, we're in the cupboard where you told us to be. And
no,
you should
Raz,
come and
Raz,
devour
you do not need
us.
to give them... Raz, do not give them explosives.
Raz, darling, explosives are the last thing we need. We're more than capable of doing a bunch of destruction on our own.
So, before we go any further, I was told that one of you trio have some issues you would like to bring up with me?
Oh, that would be me, yes. So I have a set of problems right now. It's twofold, really. When we were contracted initially, you presented the bargain that I will be given a pirate ship to be captain of, as well as health care. So the more pressing issue is, of course, the pirate ship.
Okay,
I like to know where this is.
Zach, the video of us talking was leaked, correct?
Look, I don't think you understand. I was told there will be a pirate ship.
I never said anything about getting you a pirate ship. Now, I said I would get you a hat.
People in the chat right now are suggesting that I was supposed to get a pirate ship and a hat.
Well, you have to understand something about the chat, Zach.
No, the chat is correct, as they are the fans. We have to listen to the things they say, which means I need a pirate ship and a hat. I need to remedy these things as soon as possible, preferably with an immediacy.
See, even Kadant says that it's a pirate hat for Zach.
No, she says hashtag pirate hat for Zach, so as to make the awareness grow. And pirate ship for Zach.
No,
and Kadant to be king of the pirates.
Kadant, you're not making
And
this
Chris
any better.
Fisk says give them both to me.
Zach, Dragonath is offering to make you a ship.
And I appreciate his offer. However, it was Antoine who initially contracted with me and said that there will be a pirate ship provided. Now, the chat has already spoken, so I will be expecting this in the next 72 hours. Let us move to the next issue at hand. I was promised healthcare.
I do remember this from the
Yes, I understand that I promised him healthcare. Look, again, getting through all of this red tape. The problem is that I'm not actually a business, so getting mass amounts of healthcare for you, who already has two existing conditions, one being undead, the other one there's three of you. It makes that the coverage on that is going to be extremely expensive. On top of that, I don't know how many henchmen that you want me to cover as well.
I did some research actually about this, and what I realized is I'll have to tag in someone else to discuss this issue in full. So, just a brief moment here.
All right, it's really simple. You are, last I checked, some sort of almost nigh omnipotent internet god being, correct?
Well, when you put it, thank you, Sarah. But when you put it that way, yes.
Right, which means you can hack into basically any system and change whatever you want, right?
Yes, but there are certain
So the very idea that you are denying me and mine and the henchmen our healthcare plans because of quote-unquote pre-existing conditions is a complete and utter farce, and you fucking know it.
You see, I don't have a problem with getting the henchmen healthcare. You're undead.
And change their computer systems.
You can heal yourself.
With the right amount of blood, yes.
You broke a tooth on me. I'm sorry, not you. Shade broke a tooth on me.
That was your fault.
How is that my fault? He attacked
You antagonized him.
It doesn't take much to
hold up, stop. Big T, who has a wrench, by the way, says that vampire healthcare is free in the UK. Are you telling me that you, some sort of nigh omnipotent god being of the internet, can't do what the UK does? Are you saying that the European Union is better than you?
The European Union also has the backing of many countries.
I don't think you quite understand what I'm asking you. Are you not better than the EU?
Everyone is better than the EU.
Then why do I not have healthcare?
Because I don't like you that much.
Little J says that's more than the black guy ever did for us. I think he's referring to you.
Not wrong.
He's not wrong. Yes.
So you're saying it's because you don't like us, you refuse to give us healthcare. That's discrimination. Discrimination. And this is why we believe that vampires are an obviously oppressed minority. And I'm going to tag Zach in for this one, because he's much more knowledgeable on the subject.
Oh, God.
We are, you know. He's very right. Oh, thank you, Kadant.
Okay, so...
He said she'll care for our health. You should hire her, since you're too lazy to get off your butt and help the oppressed peoples of vampire places.
You see, technically, I'm more oppressed than you, since there's only one of me, and there are three of you.
Because you speak from a position of privilege.
How am I speaking from a position of privilege?
Nigh omnipotent internet god being.
He can't be that omnipotent because I've had him locked in the broadcast booth for 2 days.
Because he was waiting for you to join him. He thought he was going to get laid.
I blocked it with a couch.
That
He
doesn't
will-
mean anything. He's not smart, just omnipotent.
Hard to argue.
I am also not super strong. The couch is very heavy.
Wow. So you're a soy boy.
No.
So you're telling me that a woman told you to get in your place and you stayed there for 2 days because you weren't strong enough to get out?
That's pretty goddamn depressing when you think about it. So what you're telling me then is the leader of this so-called army is a bitch.
I vote for a new leader.
That's what I'm hearing. And also we should give Zach his ship and his healthcare. You know what? Go ahead and tweet that out, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see some tweets about that shit. I want that to be a thing. Go ahead and @ Cole Spire on that sucker. Let's see how maybe we get to throw that one out there. That will be a measure of how important we are.
I am not a god, Rainbow Moxley.
Oh, are you insulting the Mox just because he made a joke for your expense?
No, I'm insulting the Moxley because he's a 5-foot Mexican beaner that doesn't know any better.
Oh, I'm insulting the Moxley because he's a 5-foot Mexican bean that doesn't know any better. I'm so smug.
Someone named Pastel in the chat says, even I can move a couch.
Oh,
Do you know Pastel?
well, she seems to know you pretty well.
Pastel is the one that chickened out on confronting me on Ishtar's gaming stream.
We've been demonetized, though, Leech. Wait, were we ever monetized?
No, not on this channel.
Thank God.
Speaking of, this show is going to be on this channel until after September 17th, where it will move back to help for the guild list. The link for the original channel is down below, but I believe most of you are already subscribed. Now, what you need to do, and this, I'm trying to help out a friend. He does not have many subscribers, but his name is Antihero Broadcast. You've seen him in the chat. He does have a YouTube channel. He needs more subscribers. If you go subscribe to him, he will have to make content.
I've already subscribed.
I did.
Just
too.
want you to know that I am well aware of who that is, and when he finds out what you've done, Antoine, he's going to hunt you down and rape you. I hope you're aware of that.
Oh, he can try. He has to have interdimensional travel.
Oh, that's right. You can't rape the willing.
Who said anything about willing? He can't.
You are a slut.
Sloot. Sloot is the appropriate term.
My apologies. You are a sloot. Is that better?
Anyway.
Oh, are we picking on you, Antoine? Changing your mind about us already?
We should pick on someone else.
I'm thinking
Pick
about
someone in the
firing you
chat.
all already.
We should pick someone in the chat and make fun of them.
Well, if you're thinking about firing us, I'll tell the girls that they can come and play in the hideout.
No, they cannot come and play in the hideout. Look,
So
the last time
time
I was talking to War the other day, and I swear to God, some of the parties that she's thrown have been infamous, you would say. And
they did end up in the tabloids, yes.
Oh, that party.
Mm.
Oh my God. Talk about a fun fucking time. All right. So the first part was there was this, you gotta bear with me here. We had 3 cows, 3 of them. And we put them in the middle of a big arena along with, it was like this big 10-foot long lizard thing. And we just let them all run together for a while. And so blood everywhere, violence, and oh my God, I think I had sex with like 3 different women at the same time. I don't even have that many penises. I don't know what the hell was happening.
Shade got some tainted blood and hallucinated a little bit.
Well,
At least about the cows and the lizard.
anyway,
wait, so the sex happened?
Yeah.
I'm sure you had sex with something.
Well, whatever it was, I got some good bruises from it, so rock and roll.
I do
Hey,
believe
what?
Moxley was trying to fight you off.
You can only fight for so long.
True.
So, apparently Pastel is making excuses for her not confronting me. She said she didn't chicken out. She felt bad. And she still feels terrible and her stomach hurts and her back hurts.
I'm sorry to hear that, Pastel. You should take a warm bath.
And then drop a toaster in it.
Antoine, be
What?
nice. She's here for the first meeting.
Fine. Okay, so apparently we have one full mundane mat already. I'm kind of impressed with that. I don't know if you know who Mundane Matt is, but he gets about 20 people viewing his shows on average, and he has over 100,000 subscribers. So he has been turned
That's
into...
not a good ratio.
Yes, I know that, but he's been turned into a measurement of viewers. So we have one full Mundane Matt. And see,
That is good, right?
Yes. See, Big T understands. I'm always nice. So,
Hey, somebody said we were boring.
yes, Jacob says that Antoine, these good people are
Fine.
boring.
Fine, Jacob. What do we have to do to not be boring? We have to juggle or I don't know. Oh, wait, we could no. I know, unicorns. We could do unicorns. Everyone here should be a unicorn now. Except for me, I'm gonna be a pirate.
No, Dragonath, we are not hate dragons.
Tyro has the best idea ever. We need to go on a pirate adventure.
No.
Yes. Okay, look, here's how it's gonna happen. So I live very close to the ocean. So all we gotta do is you got to put the pirate ship in the ocean. And then Antoine has to materialize all of us onto the pirate ship. And then we'll go hunting whales or something.
Why would you hunt whales?
I don't know. Are there any wait. We could hunt Spaniards.
Zach,
They still have a navy, right?
Zach, you are forgetting a very important part.
What's that?
You're a vampire.
I can be a pirate.
You can be a pirate, but you
Mhm.
can't be on a ship
Why not?
in the daylight.
Oh, that's what canopies are for.
That's not how it works.
That's totally how it works. It's
You
the sun
have
that
to
hurts.
you actually have to, raise the sails and actually sail the ship.
You're right. That's what we have crew for.
We don't have crew. You're just talking about us.
We will have crew when I am done. We have henchmen for a reason.
You haven't been giving them drinks, have you?
Not yet. No one's been thirsty. I've been trying.
Okay, so just a warning for any of you henchmen that are watching. Don't take anything to drink from Zach or any of the trio. It may not be good
Why?
for your health.
No, it's perfectly good for your health. You should totally drink what I offer you. It's great. You will remember everything. I promise. It's not a roofie. It's much worse. I mean, no, never mind. Let's move on from this.
All right.
Are you
Sarah,
thirsty?
Sarah, you haven't taken anything to drink from him, have you?
No, and it wouldn't affect me anyway.
She thinks that.
Uh-oh.
I have not taken anything to drink from them.
Yet.
That's not what I'm saying uh-oh about. Apparently Kadant has.
Oh
Well-
dear.
there was a reason for that, and we're not going to go into that right now. Look, we're also not going to go into why Moxley drank. All right, let's just not even talk about that.
Wait, that's right. Moxley is yours.
Yep.
Moxley is everybody's. All you have to do is bully him a little bit.
Well,
I'm not wrong.
I mean that's technically true. So what are we talking about? I don't feel like being boring to the chat.
Well, you're the
That hurt me to the core. You have no idea how much that stung, Jacob Navo. And
Well,
now
you'll-
we'll find you. Hunt you down.
I was told that you had, Zach had, besides the pirate ship thing and the healthcare thing, which I am working on, just be patient.
Not their strong suit.
I understand that. There was something else that Zach wanted to bring up, something about not pirate rights,
No,
vampire rights?
He'll bring that up later. I'm sure it'll come up at some point during this broadcast.
Okay. Well, look, the chat already knows who I am. I want them to introduce... I want you guys to introduce yourselves to them.
I believe we have already introduced ourselves.
Pretty
more
sure
specifically,
you introduced us.
Okay, ingratiate yourself to them.
Whoa. Ingratiate sounds a lot like, like be
Are you
submissive
sure
and shit.
you don't want War here to do the talking? I don't really ingratiate very well.
As someone who lives off the blood of other people and views them as a food source, ingratiation is not something I do well. However, the chat says that they're pretty interested in Lady Death over there, and they'd like to know more about her because she looks pretty.
On top of that, as I've quoted it, she sounds like a hotter version of Laura Croft.
Thank you.
Which version of Lara Croft? Like
All
the
of
pixie
them.
one with pointy boobs? Because it's not hard to be hotter than that.
I was talking about all of them.
I'm just saying, it's not hard to be hotter than Pixels. It's not hard. I mean, just gotta be real.
You're just bolstering my self-confidence, Drake. Thank you.
Oh, please, you're Lady Death. Nobody cares about your self-confidence.
Chris Fisk asks, I would like to know if War is a redhead.
She is not a redhead. She actually has black hair with a purple streak.
Black hair with a purple streak.
Yes.
So
Tom, go ahead.
So what you're saying is War is also a weeaboo, just like you.
No, she's not.
Anyway,
She just has
I
black hair.
just want to point out to Mr. Tom Leach, no capes. It's pretty simple. I think everyone's gone over that over the last 15, 20 years. No capes.
No capes.
no capes. Capes are bad.
Anti-hero wears a cape occasionally. That son of a bitch.
Well, that'll come back and bite him later when he gets sucked into a jet engine.
He's done that twice now. He's not happy about it.
You would think. Bit of fun.
Tyra also has a question for you, Sarah.
No.
Is
she-
pestilence? I have to read it out and then you react to it.
Go ahead.
Is pestilence? I'm sorry, plague. Jenny McCarthy in disguise, or just some kind of anti-vaxxer?
No, her name is Carrie. She's a former Air Force.
I am way more interested in Tom Leach's commentary.
And what did he say?
Tits or get the fuck out.
Yes.
I am not pulling up my shirt.
Are you certain? Because I could really, really get into that. In fact,
No.
2 out of 3 of us could really get into that.
No.
Are you sure? Because seriously, 2 out of 3 of us could really, really get into that.
No. I am not pulling up my shirt.
Fucking spoil sport. I mean, I know they can't see it. You could at least pretend you're going to.
I mean,
I'm
we
not
are in the...
that nice.
They can't... Look, Sarah, they can't see you. We are just in the broadcast booth. It's just the 3 of us. 5 of us.
Tits.
You can just
Tits.
do it quickly.
No.
Tits.
I am not that kind of girl.
Look, see, they're already putting one in the chat.
A 1 for tits and a 2 for ass. There's no other options.
No.
Look, I'm waiting for the chat to respond, okay? Pipe down over
We
there.
have 3 ones already.
1 for tits, 2 for ass. There are no other third options.
Believe
God
me,
damn it,
Kadant,
Kadant, stop it.
I'm considering it.
The day you manage to find a way to kill me, Chicky, is the day I'll die happily.
Usually it's fire, sunlight, silver, dismemberment.
Silver's a misnomer. Dismemberment only stops me for a little while. Sunlight doesn't affect me nearly as much as it used to. And fire, I just disbelieve in. You want to get anything else?
It still hurts you.
For a little while.
It's a little while, yes.
Wait, who's Kadant murdering?
Somebody.
Garlic is not a delicious death. It's just a flavoring for food that I can't eat. Speaking of which, why is there a half-empty bag of donuts next to me?
Zach has been eating those donuts.
God damn it!
See, look, Tom Leach says it correctly. Look, nothing provides team unity faster than showing each other your genitals. Come on, people, whip them out. Everybody get going.
All right, here's mine.
Ah, put it away!
No! No!
Y'all are just jealous of this massive...
It's purple!
massive schlong. Of course it is. What do you expect?
That is not supposed to be that color.
Well, you know. It can get bigger, by the way. I can use flesh crafting and make it as long and as thick as I want it to be.
Stop.
Did
Stop.
Did you die with genital warts? Put it away, man.
Those are not genital warts, those are pleasure nubs. It's nubbed for her pleasure.
Pleasure
That's
nubs.
not natural.
Duh.
That is wrong on many levels. Put it away.
It's already away.
Thank God. I was trying desperately not to look.
Tyro wants to know if you can make tentacles.
Yes.
Don't steal my shtick.
I didn't steal it. It's a Japanese shtick. And since you're claiming it as your own, doesn't that make you a weeaboo?
No, it makes me cultural appropriation.
Can we get a 1 in the chat for anyone who thinks that Antoine is nothing more than a filthy weeaboo? I'll just wait.
Kadant, I'm not just a tentacle. I'm many tentacles.
Spam that properly.
Anti-hero, your vote only counts as 1.
I think his vote counts for a lot of things.
I think it counts as 1.
I think his vote counts for everything.
I think his vote counts for nothing.
I think Tyro's vote counts for everything too. He said the ones have it. Clearly, I'm right.
But Big T said 2, so...
Well, Big T's wrong for once. So what are we talking about?
Hashtag Godtwan. Thank you very much, Kadant.
She's saying that to be insulting.
You sure about that?
Absolutely.
Sounds more like a compliment.
Where's Ishtar? Last time I checked, I had her chained in her closet.
That's just weird.
She's fairly mad about it, from what I understand.
Well, she tried to smother me with a pillow, and I didn't appreciate it, so I tied her up in her closet.
She's going to try and smother you again when you let her out.
That's if I let her out.
You have to let her out eventually.
Do I?
Yes,
Why?
because eventually you need to feed her.
With dick.
I mean, I can feed her intravenously. She gets enough protein. It's fine.
This has become an incredibly awkward conversation. I agree with little J. Moxley. Please stop.
Tyro, it's suspension. She can't touch the ground. Her arms are up. You know, it's a thing.
This has become very strange. And while I have been exposed to many awkward things in my very long life, I would prefer that we not go further into this because I think it's going into areas that are going to make me very uncomfortable as a person.
I
Exactly.
apologize, Zach.
Don't
What-
apologize. Just fix the problem.
What would you like to talk about, Zach?
My pirate ship.
Why did you ask him that? You knew that's what he was going to do.
This is very important to me. I feel like there's been a breach of trust between employee and employer. You know, this is not the way you start a contract. This is exactly the opposite way. You've reneged on your end of the bargain. This makes you a renegger.
Goodbye, Bloodletter.
Have a good one, Bloodletter.
Thank you for coming.
Zach, I promised you a pirate hat, not a pirate ship. Hello?
Zach?
I'm waiting for the chat to react, which they already have. The demontation is working. They agree. I need a ship.
That brings up a good point. How does
They're
this...
even building ships for me because they love me that much. It's probably because I am mildly insulting to you in a funny fashion.
So, how does this dementation thing work?
Oh, see, I don't really pay attention to the hows of how it works. You have to talk to somebody else to get that sort of information out.
Tom Lee says, let's get it out of the way. Just like with stock options, you don't get them when you sign up.
No,
Moved.
Tyro! Look what Tyro said!
So, Tom says, let's just get this out of the way.
Shut
Just like
up,
with
Antoine!
stock options.
Look at what Tyro
Don't get
said!
them when you sign up.
Look
You
at
have
what
to be...
Tyro said!
I'm ignoring what Tyro said.
He wants me to get a space pirate ship.
Draconath is working on plans for a pirate ship that flies and sails and allows you to see the sun without it touching you.
Can it go in space, Draconath?
This is
Because
my-
now I need to raid Space Force fleet vessels.
Well,
this
it
has
should keep
become
you
my new goal.
occupied for a weekend.
Several weekends. There is much booty to be had in space. Space booty. Space booty.
Space booty. All right.
I mean, you got to get it somewhere.
And if you watch Star Trek, all the alien females are humanoid and different colored. So
Do you want green space booty?
Green, blue, red, pink. I don't really care. I'm
You're
not a
not-
racist. What are you trying to say, Antoine?
I was just asking a question.
I mean, you're asking if I have some sort of color preference for alien space booty?
you could have a favorite color.
Are you saying I'm colorist now? Is that what you're trying to imply?
Yes.
Wait, is that imply that you are both some sort of alien speciesist?
No.
You xenophobic fox. That is
Human, alien, doesn't
awful.
matter. I can still collect all their souls. Doesn't bother me.
So you're one of those, colorblind types, huh?
No, I see color just fine.
Racism. I actually don't care. Something that we learned real early being hemophages there is that it doesn't really matter what your skin color is. It usually tastes all the same. It has the same nutrition count.
Really?
Yeah. What
So
does
do you
change
have a
those-
preferred... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask if you have a preferred blood type for dinner.
I like B positive, frankly, but anything will do as long as they're not sickly or high on like certain kinds of drugs, or if the blood content itself is high on preservatives and things like that. Frankly, vegans are the best eating.
I have heard that. What about the
I
people
have-
who follow the paleo diet?
It's a little better. Again, and once you start putting preservatives and processed sugars and stuff like that into your body, you become a lot less tasty for vampires to eat. Pro tip for you: if you stock up on Twinkies, you're less likely to be eaten by a vampire.
Good to know. I hate Twinkies.
Well, I was gonna make an exception for you anyway, there, hon.
I don't know if I should be complimented by that.
Tom Leach wants to know, is Charlie Sheen right about Tiger Blood?
Yep. Why we stay away from him?
Oh, okay. Well, well, I
Charlie
guess we could...
Sheen never has to worry about being vampirized. There's enough AIDS in that man's blood to kill one of us, and we don't die from AIDS. That should tell you something.
Oh.
That's... Big T says fatties taste like Cheetos.
That is occasionally true, depending on how many Cheetos they've ingested lately.
That's disgusting. Okay, so What are your what's your stance on feminism there, Trio?
That would depend on your definition of the term. I mean, as far as women seeking equality in a world run mostly by men, yeah, it definitely had its place, and there's certain equality going on now. As a system of pseudo supremacy over men and everyone else doesn't agree with them, I'm not really cool with that. Mostly in the same way I'm not really cool with anybody trying to be in charge of me. We do have some questions from the chat though. First off, Tom Leach wants to know if is True Blood accurate that hepatitis 5 can slow you down. I've never had it, nor do I watch True Blood.
Not hepatitis 5.
That's hepatitis
V.
5. That's hepatitis 5.
It's hepatitis V.
Clearly says a 5. I know my Roman numerals, goddammit.
It's not a Roman numeral. It's actually the letter.
I don't watch True Blood, you normie.
No, Jacob, she's not streaming later tonight. She's currently tied up in a closet.
Yeah, haven't ever seen True Blood, so I wouldn't know, and I've never had hepatitis of any kind. Vampires can get STDs, Za. It's a little awkward. It's not so much STDs so much as we can, in fact, become carriers for certain bloodborne pathogens. We usually call those dirt mouths or mud mouths because, they're just gross. It can happen if you spend too much time eating in grungy, dirty places like, hobo dens, things like that.
I found you underneath a bridge.
Yeah, but I was real conscientious about who I ate. If you had bothered to check the bodies, you would have found nothing but Armani suits, motherfucker.
I didn't want to see what you were eating.
Antoine's a little squeamish. When he showed up to bother me, he was very picky about where he put his feet.
There were 20 to 30 dead people.
27.
She counted.
I did.
Surrounding me. I think I stepped in someone named Bill.
You stepped in Bob's intestines.
Oh, God.
You wouldn't think that someone whose skin is pitch black could turn pale, but he does a very good job of it.
I don't wear shoes. I could feel his viscera between my toes. It was disgusting.
Did you clean those toes? Because there was probably shit on them too.
Trust me, after I got away from her...
Like actual shit. Like human feces.
The body does evacuate after it dies.
Like physical human excrement.
Mm.
It was probably pungent too.
I understand all that.
You could probably taste the smell of it on your tongue. Ugh.
Yes, I
coppery
do.
And, ugh.
Everyone has a clock that I can see. Sometimes it's a long clock, sometimes it's short. And it often depends on your choices, how much longer you have.
I do believe you said mine was digital.
Yes, I've never seen a digital clock before. Everyone is just analog. Sometimes they look like cuckoo clocks, sometimes they look like your grandfather clock, and sometimes they're just those plain white clocks with the black numbers and nothing else.
Oh.
And sometimes the clocks have no hands and no face.
You have a clock. Yours is just paused.
As it will be for all of eternity.
Every vampire thinks that. Even the gods think that.
Most of them are right. That's why we're not all dead yet.
Razril, there's only 27 because there were only 27 that decided to get together and summon me. There would have been more if the Apocalypse cult had been larger. You know what I don't understand about Apocalypse cults? The
fact that they want to bring upon the apocalypse?
Some people just like to watch the world burn. That's normal. No, they always start with me. They don't realize that starting with one of my sisters would be far more efficient.
A lot of people find that death is somehow an attractive, sexy thing. It's why vampires are fetishized so very often. People look at the concept of death and they want to familiarize themselves with it, become closer to it, find a way in which to make it beautiful or alluring or exciting, so that way it's not nearly so goddamn frightening. This is something that vampires understand explicitly and implicitly because our entire life is about forestalling death, about pushing it off a little while longer, avoiding that one last final sleep.
Yes.
So it's romanticized heavily.
I can understand that, but if you're pulling someone up to start the apocalypse. Focus on what you're doing and make the right choice. I just come along and clean up after my sister's work.
But they don't know that. Again.
They didn't do their
Death.
research. It's really shameful.
It's much harder to find that sort of research than you might think, Sarah. You have to remember that for millennia, things like death and vampires and demons have been romanticized to the point where they're no longer the crazed creatures and monsters they once were.
Maybe in your universe, but I know of at least 6 different sorcerers and sorceresses who have access to that information.
And do they ever use it?
No, they
And
actually
in an
busy.
infinite multiverse, 6 or 7 is a frightfully insignificant number.
I'm just saying that if you really want to do it, the research is out there to be found. And call up the right sister.
And how many of those people that are actually trying to call in the apocalypse are what we could carefully and safely classify as sane? Or even capable of doing advanced research to find out the true meaning behind their goals?
Let's see.
None of them, Sarah. That's half the point.
No, there were 1 or 2 that were capable of it. In fact, as they were dying, they were saying something about doing better research next life. Yes, well, I really don't appreciate being hauled away from my work and wasting my time.
Did you just say hoard away from your work?
Hauled.
I heard hoard.
You
Like
can hear whatever you want.
WHORED, hoard?
Hello, Full Metal Pickle.
Don't talk to him. He just rolled in like he owns the place. Don't talk to him.
Why?
Hello, Cinder Shadow.
What's wrong with Pickle?
Just rolls in.
He's a pickle. He doesn't have legs.
He
has
just
to roll.
rolls. I'm offended by his rolling.
How are you offended by rolling?
I don't have to answer you.
Is it because you don't know why you're offended by rolling?
I don't have to answer you, Antoine.
Were you rolled in before you returned?
There may have been some. Look, I don't have to talk about this. All right, let's just move on.
So
Find a new subject.
So you're saying you have a problem with Pickle?
I don't like this subject. Let's move on from it. I'm not a huge fan of it. Let's just find a new thing to talk about.
Cinder Shadow said hello and welcome, Lady of Clockstopper and the Malkavian of the Bridge.
Wait, so we ask questions?
Ari, you can ask questions of the chat if they
all right. Antoine, what is the capital of Assyria?
What?
What?
You don't know?
Pickles.
Wrong! You are now flung off the bridge by ancient magics. You have to do the scream. Go ahead, I'll wait. I guard the bridge to the Holy Grail. That's how it works. He mentioned it. It was right there in the chat. It's Monty Python, you British fuck. How do you not know this?
He's not really British.
But he sounds like it.
Well, when you program in an accent, you can pretty much make yourself sound like whatever you want.
Well, I've
Can
never
you do
heard
a
him.
Russian accent? Can you reprogram yourself?
You want me to do a what now?
A Russian one.
Give me a second.
He's actually reprogramming himself. It's lovely.
And what would you like me to say?
That's not bad. Just keep talking.
Well, since we're talking about Russia and Russian accents and whatnot, how do you feel about the whole Russian conspiracy concept?
Well, I think we have better question in chat. It's kind of relevant as to what happened recently. Big T says, if Shade or Zach want to talk about something, how about the shithead who sucker punched MTG headquarters at Gen Con?
Saying his name's not doxing.
I'm not. No, I'm talking.
Everyone knows his name.
Okay, Jeremy.
I mean, it's a common thing. He says his name is Jeremy Hambley in multiple videos. I mean, he puts his whole name out there.
I didn't know if everybody knew who he was.
He's the guy who does unsleeved media, the quartering, etc. Everyone knows who the hell he is.
Well,
It's
answer
not like
the
our audience is
question.
an issue. Well, you want to know how I feel about it? I mean, it's pretty simple as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter what your personal political beliefs are. Once you take it to violence, you're wrong. And that guy's wrong. I'm not actually a big fan of Jeremy Hambley, to be perfectly honest. I think a lot of his practices are deceptive. But on the same token, that doesn't mean that somebody has to go out of their way to go and assault the man. I also think that Gen Con's being absolutely ridiculous for not having put a statement out about it when they had a chance to do so while it was all still occurring. In fact, I went and watched their Twitch channel. And does anybody else check out that catastrophe?
I know Sparky did.
That was hilarious to see. What had happened was people started asking Gen Con on their Twitch channel over and over and over and over and over again whether or not they were going to address the issue about Jeremy being attacked by one of their own vendor type people. And they said nothing. And then even more people started asking questions. And they said nothing. And then they started asking even more questions and make accusations. And what did Gen Con's Twitch team do? They started mass banning things. And then they started actually deleting the entire chat. And then Cinder Shadow's completely right. They went from banning to straight to eliminate to 3-month subs only. In other words, they nuked the entire fucking chat without issue.
That seems a little bit impressive.
That was their only response.
This is why I want to fight against the IDL.
Could you, please, for the love of God, reprogram yourself back to something that's not fucking Russian?
Sorry, I was appeasing one of my hosts.
Well, don't fucking do that anymore. Dear God.
I'm trying not to, but I keep getting told that I have to provide a pirate ship.
You know, I'm so far I haven't really liked Leech, but I'm inclined to agree with him here. If Jeremy was black, they'd have lost their shit. If he was a woman, they'd have lost their shit. If their attacker was a conservative, they'd have lost their shit. He's completely fucking right.
He is. He's very right.
Every piece of their goddamn mind if it had been anybody else. But because it was Jeremy Hambley who got smacked on, nope, completely quiet.
And apparently the whole situation has become a shitstorm. Quinpack, I don't know what that is, just removed the guy who hit Hambley from their site completely.
Dragonath, there's a deposit to borrow, Zach. It's about 2 liters of fresh blood.
And they have to sign a waiver. Don't forget they have to sign a waiver.
That's correct. And you have to sign a waiver exempting him from any damage that you or your products or your personal items may gain during the encounter.
That's about right. And Big T's got a point too. If it had been Anita, there would have been a fucking nightmare. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Monsieur Hambley, but on the same token, with that in mind, I think he handled the situation really goddamn well.
And he is being rather transparent about what's going on. Even a lot of his detractors are kind of staying quiet as well because of how blatant he is being with showing the reports and showing what he's doing and basically kind of updating everyone on what's going on. So I give the man credit. But I think what... Go ahead.
At least somebody's getting credit for something.
It's very true. I think it sucks that he got sucker punched. How's it going, Anubis?
I have a question here.
Hello,
How come every single time somebody on the so-called left with their righteousness and their beliefs in a greater good, how come every single time they want to do violence, they hide behind masks and sucker punches?
Because they're scared, frightened little bitches.
That can't be it, because a bunch of them who do the sucker punches don't wear masks. In fact, they attack while there's a cell phone on, for Christ's sake. But they rely on the sucker punch.
Because they couldn't stand up to the person otherwise.
It's too easy an answer. There's maybe something deeper than that. Some sort of philosophical or intense, instinctive, emotional issue. Something that's built into the person, maybe.
Or they simply can't do a real fight, so they get in a cheap shot to make themselves feel good.
Humans are inadequate.
They are.
Oh, they are definitely inadequate, but they are very, very good at creating weapons of destroying each other by the masses.
And they can be very entertaining sometimes.
And I mean, to be honest, the best weapon that they have created so far to create mass chaos and havoc has been this two-party system of the right and the left. It's horseshoe theory. Let's be honest. The extremes on both sides are ridiculous.
They are. But then again, humans tend to drift to the extremes. They can't just do something simple. They always have to take it to the absolute edge.
Wait, Cinder Shadow says, I got called a Nazi again today and then asked to define water.
To define water.
What? Hydrogen, oxygen. It is a material that, depending on temperature, can be in 3 states at the same time: solid, liquid, and gaseous. Why did they want you to define water?
That is a question. Did they not know what it was? Czar is not wrong. People push things to the edge, and then cats knock them off the edge.
Wait. So, because you asked them to define a Nazi, they asked you to define water. Those things do not correlate at all. And I agree with Furry. At least we know cats' agendas. They're just assholes. I happen to be living with 2. One of them is a 10-pound bowling ball with needles for feet.
You want to hear Antoine scream like a girl, wait till she jumps up in his lap. And I'm not talking like an adult female. I'm talking like a 5-year-old seeing a spider.
That does not happen.
I have recordings.
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
And how positive are you?
100%.
Only feels positive.
Yes, there you go. Share it, or it didn't happen.
I will get the recordings out and make Antoine put them on his channel.
Oh, you're going to make me, are you?
If you don't do it, I'll talk to Sparky.
You know what? Why don't you talk to Ishtar and have her put it on her channel?
Because you have her tied up in a closet right now.
That sounds like a personal problem to me.
Well, that's why I'm not talking to her right now. I'll talk with Sparky.
Can we talk about something?
We are talking about something.
We're going back and forth in circles about Antoine doing girly squeals or something. Look, let's find an actual topic maybe and stick to it, not bore the shit out of people. Like me, who's bored.
Then maybe you should suggest a topic.
Alex Jones recently got kicked off of everything.
That's true, he did. He's going to BitChute now, I think. And apparently, BitChute is going to be getting mass amounts of followers because of Alex Jones.
Are they really, or is Alex Jones just saying that?
I'm not going off of Alex Jones, I'm going off of Razorfist. He's actually been right about a couple of things. So there was
Like what?
God. You're gonna make me go through his fucking video library now?
No, I'm not going to make him go through your video library. How about this? Do you think it's right that he was pushed off?
No,
Why?
because it's free speech is paramount. And it wasn't like he was pushed off. It wasn't like he was pushed off for something stupid. He was pushed off for something. What was it? He was talking about immigration or immigrants. Alex Jones has said enough dumb ass shit that it would be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem to find something stupid that he said.
Because what I heard he was kicked off for was deceptive news reporting.
Like what?
Like stories that weren't necessarily true or spun in a direction that made them untrue.
Well, then why does BuzzFeed still have a fucking Twitter?
Because BuzzFeed is labeled as news entertainment, and Alex Jones isn't. Which was the big issue. It's just like WWE. If WWE had continued to build themselves as sports, they would have gotten in some measure of trouble. But because they build themselves as sports entertainment, they don't have to follow nearly as many of the rules as the actual sports industry does.
Now, speaking of WWE, they are some of the best athletes out there, and you can't just count that they aren't athletes.
No one said I did. But their rules are much more lax because they are sports entertainment.
Well, yes, because there's story behind it.
They're entertainment, not sports.
Mm.
So if Alex Jones had tagged himself as news entertainment, then he could have done whatever he wanted whenever he wanted, and said whatever he wanted, and for the most part, he'd be covered. But because he built himself as a news agency, not news entertainment, he got hit for deceptive reporting. Which, if you watch his stuff, he did. He puts a very heavy slant on everything. Now, I don't think it was right to deplatform the man. I think they should just force him to make himself news entertainment. He wouldn't have lost any viewers. He wouldn't have had any hurt in his viewership. In fact, he would have spun it to look even better. So I don't agree with their removal of him. But they still had something to remove him for.
Now, what do you think about the excuse that the left always gives, that Twitter is a private company and they can do what they want?
Well, I think it's totally valid. That's technically the other edge of capitalism. I'm a firm believer that if a company wants to remove somebody from service, then they have the right to do so. I think they should also be aware of any repercussions that might happen. So if I own a small business in a predominantly white neighborhood and I decide to be an asshole and say, oh, no blacks allowed, I should be prepared for whatever repercussions happen for that. But from a private business, I should also be allowed to do so. I should be allowed to fuck myself over if I really want to. And maybe that's what Twitter is going to do. Who knows? So far, it doesn't seem there's a whole lot of backlash, does it?
Tyro, what I'm talking about is whenever they get rid of someone from the right on Twitter, the excuse that the left always gives is that Twitter is a private company and can do what they want.
They only give that in response to the whole right-wing concept of a private company, capitalism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's kind of what Tyro's talking about there. And the reason they say that, especially if you watched Twitter right afterwards, you'd see people talking about, oh, see, capitalism cuts both ways. How do you feel now, right-wing? In fact, I had somebody ask me the same point. How do you feel about the whole thing where, Twitter banned Alex Jones? People banned Alex Jones. I said it's a private company. They do whatever the fuck they want. As long as they're okay with the outcome, with the repercussions, who cares? People like Twitter have massive teams of risk assessors. That's their entire job, is to find out whether or not they're going to handle a situation, whether they can weather the storm. And Twitter's team said, yeah, we can do it. And YouTube's team said, yeah, we could do it. And you know what? They have.
Zah says Gavin McGuinness was also banned from Twitter this weekend. And so were the Proud Boys, actually.
And Tyro brings up a ridiculously good point. In truth, they want to make the tech giants government controlled more so than now, so they can ban any speech they dislike.
Which I think is a bad idea.
Of course it's a bad idea, but that doesn't mean that anybody's going to try and stop them.
I mean, you guys have been hanging around the hideout enough. You've run into the IDL in my universe. What do you think of them?
Well, I think they're not led very well yet.
I think if anybody's going to cause the apocalypse to start, it's going to be them, just for annoying us enough.
I think they'll be much more dangerous when they have an actual defined leader. The biggest issue for any group, but especially the left, is that eventually, without enough targets, they consume themselves.
Well, we see them eating each other all the time.
Wow, that was really creepy. I don't think I want to see anybody on the left eat each other. Like, Arnita Sarkeesian's kind of cute, but some of the other ones, no thank you.
Well, look at Anita Sarkeesian is a perfect example.
Of a
Anita
cute feminist? Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't mind seeing her, but not the rest. Some of them are really awful.
Zach,
They're wrinkly.
I am trying
Can
to
you
make a
imagine
point.
the vaginas? Can you imagine them?
We don't want to imagine them, Zach.
That's probably true.
Recently, it came out that there's going to be a new Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's going to be rebooted with a black Buffy.
Who cares?
Exactly. Who cares, right? Well, Anita Sarkeesian lost her shit. This is the same woman that preaches diversity and forced diversity in video games and all media. Does not agree with a black Buffy.
But Antoine, it's different when we do it.
Joss Whedon is a liberal, and he is directing the show again. And supposedly he was a friend of Anita Sarkeesian's as well. That's what I'm talking. They don't have any principles to stand on. It's just how they feel at the time.
Well, I would like to point out that I'm not necessarily in agreement with you on that statement. I've talked with a fair number of these social justice warrior types, and a lot of them do feel they have a leg to stand on. They have principles, and many of them hold to it. It doesn't necessarily mean their ideas have any valid foundation in what we might call sanity, but they do feel they have a leg to stand on, and they're the most dangerous kind. See, we make this huge mistake. I really seriously believe this. We make this huge mistake of constantly underestimating the left wing, of constantly saying, well, look at them, they're lunatics, look at them, they have no idea how reality works, look at them, they're basing all their ideas off utopian fallacies, when in reality there are an alarming number of them that are true believers. And those are the ones that are pushing things behind the scenes to happen farther and faster. For every one of them that sounds like a fucking jackass on television, or a moron on the internet, there's someone who doesn't speak and just moves pieces. And they use those people who are idiots and jackasses who spout nonsense to get your attention so that they can make their moves behind the scenes. And they're the reason that it's becoming harder and harder for you to say whatever is on your mind. And it's something very terrifying to think about. But it's something that we should most certainly think about.
Again, I agree. It's why, look at Hollywood. Hollywood has tremendous amounts of power, but only because we've let them have it. We have Hollywood stars that are accepting awards and decide to preach from the pulpit because we've given them a platform, because we like how they pretend. Now, I understand the irony of what I'm saying. I have a pulpit of my own. People like what I'm saying. I would love to make as much as a Hollywood starlet, but I don't. The problem is they don't do research. All they do is get their talking points from the news, which is no longer news. I've said it before, and I hate saying it. The 24-hour news cycle needs to stop. The 24-hour news cycle stopped being news and started being clickbait as soon as advertisers started pushing it. So now we don't get the feel-good stories anymore. We get them every once in a while.
Feel good does not sell.
Exactly. Death, destruction, mayhem, chaos, riots, protests, fascism, Nazis running rampant in Charlottesville. That gets people watching. And I believe that if the mainstream media actually pulled their heads out of their asses long enough, they'd understand that all they're doing is creating fake news for profit.
Antoine, when we first talked, what was the question I asked you?
What I wanted.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you another question that's difficult, because I enjoy that sort of thing. What do we do to stop it? We've been talking for the last, 10 minutes about all the dangers of the left and how we shouldn't underestimate them and how they're taking over things and how they're forcing their little slimy fingers and tentacles and tendrils into every chink in our armor in order to make us like them. And we've expressed our hatred and we've talked about our fear of it. So how do we stop it? How do we, in our day-to-day lives, take all that fear and all that hatred and all that angst, that anxiety, and turn to tools we can use?
We do what we're doing right now. We're talking to people. Now, here's another idea. We bring them here. We talk to people. You have a conversation. Not screaming, not sucker punching, not yelling at each other, not threatening. Bring someone here and let us have discourse. Now, I understand you can't hang around a gray area as often as I like to. But that doesn't mean that we can't talk to someone. Get their point of view. Have them see ours. You don't have to always agree with someone. But if you can understand, maybe, just maybe, something can happen from it. Do I agree with protests? Yes. I do think they were useful at one point. Now, protests are just being used for violence. All you need to do is have a conversation. Do I think it's going to win over the masses? Having a conversation with one person? No. But I think if you have a conversation with that one person and you're able to get them to open up to think the way, see how you think, they may think differently when they decide to go after someone else.
All it takes is a seed.
Well, that's all well and good. But what happens when you're up against someone who actually feels this way, who is a zealot, who is speaking out against you? What do you do then?
Well, what would be an example?
All right, fine. You realize, Antoine, that by speaking so bigotedly to people and by telling them that they should resist what is better for them and what's good for them, to resist the whole concept of feminism, because really feminism is just equality, that you're being as bigoted and toxic as the people around you.
That made my brain hurt.
So what do you do? When the person is in your face.
When someone comes at me like that.
When they're in your face, when they're calling you a fucking white male, when they're calling you a destroyer of lives, a baby killer, a child imprisoner, when they call you all these things, what do you actually do? Because it's all well and good to say it right here in this broadcast, in this, let's be honest, this safe space. It's all well and good to talk about it there, but what do you do when you're in the moment? And here's the point I'm making, people. All of us have to be in that moment. If you want to change something, then you need to speak up about it. Unfortunately, the left has the right idea.
Oh, yes, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
No, not even that. Is that they have to speak. You have to talk. You have to say something. It's not a squeaky wheel getting the grease. It's you have to put your opinion, your beliefs out there for them to be judged. And so far, the only opinions and beliefs being put out there are the left, and unfortunately, violent opposition to the left.
I've had someone come at me like that. Believe it or not. I still tried to talk to them. Once they calmed down, because they were all geared up for me to start screaming back at them, we had a conversation. Was I snarky? At first, yes. I mean, let's be honest, it's me.
Do you have an off switch for the snark?
I have tried. I have. I've tried being sincere. It just comes off sarcastic. But I have talked to them. And we didn't come to an agreement, but we came to an understanding. And it was an understanding of how I saw things and how they saw things. And what's really fun is, well, it's not a secret. I'm part of the LGBTQ community. They automatically assume I'm straight. It's really funny to watch them back off when I tell them I'm not only an ally, I'm part of it. Now, I have had someone call me a traitor. That was fun. But I stand by being able to talk to them. Because it's all I can do right now. I would love to be able to do more.
What sort of more?
I'm not talking about counter-protests, but what's his name? Steven Crowder. He has a wonderful idea. The whole Change My Mind segment. He is out there talking to real people about real topics that people do not agree with. And he is sitting there calmly, even when he has people screaming at him from the crowd. He is sitting there calmly, and he is talking to the person, getting what they believe, getting what they think, and having a conversation, showing them what he believes, telling them whatever facts that they don't understand, and giving them the sources to those facts. I would love to do something like that. It's what I want to do with this show. Yes, I want to have fun. I want us to tease each other. I want us to entertain the chat. But I want to bring people on that maybe don't agree with us. Have a conversation. Talk about things. And yes, have some guests on that do agree with us. Are just fun. But I want to do something. Something important. I told you, Trio. I'm not trying to conquer anyone. I'm trying to change minds. It's a lot harder.
Maybe the way you do it. We've
Not
got this
everyone.
power called dominate. It works really well.
Not everyone is lucky enough to have that power.
Well, I mean, I don't have it either, but I know some guys.
Do you suppose you could get it? It would work on Antoine.
I'd have to eat some people.
Mm.
And by people, I mean other vampires. That's usually frowned upon in most situations.
Well, Zach, did I answer Trio? Did I answer your question well enough?
For now.
For now,
We'll probably revisit the question later.
okay. Well, all right. There are 19 people watching this right now. Anyone who is in the chat, if you know someone who doesn't agree with anything that I say, or who has a different opinion on something that the trio says, or if she talked more, what Sarah says.
I don't need to talk quite as much as the two of you do. Someone has to listen.
Send them my way. We'll bring them on. We'll talk to them.
Within reason.
I will try and keep the trio from eating them. Send them to my Twitter. It's the best thing I can do. As of right now. Does that sound like a plan, trio?
I'm sure we'll visit the question later.
All right. You disagree. Kadant disagrees with me not giving Zach a pirate ship.
Well, you promised him a goddamn pirate ship.
Promised him a hat.
Do you not understand how demontation works?
I promised him a hat, not
Do
a
you
ship.
not understand how demontation works?
It doesn't work on me.
It doesn't have to work on you. It works on everybody else. And everyone here is firmly convinced that you now owe him a pirate ship, which means reality has shifted. You owe him a pirate ship. The sooner you get on that, the better your life will be. Do you really want him to find other things to decide you owe him?
I do not owe him a pirate ship.
In fact, Tyro has now changed reality again. I didn't realize Tyro had demontation himself. But I believe it, and I was there and I heard it. Pirate spaceship.
It's not happening.
Totally heard pirate spaceship. And I trust Tyro implicitly in almost all things.
As long as it's what you believe in.
Not true. Tyro rarely goes against my wishes anyway.
So as long as he is going for your wishes, you believe in him entirely.
Basically, that's how most people work, isn't it? I thought it
That's
was a
not
pretty
what
human
I
trait.
said.
It's a pretty human trait, isn't it?
But you're
I mean-
not a human.
Antoine, name one time you would distrust someone who wasn't doing what you wanted.
Name one time that I trusted someone who wasn't doing something I
name
wanted.
one time that you would distrust someone who was doing something that you wanted.
My brother.
You have a brother?
I do have a brother.
Is he also a, cyber demon?
He's a computer program.
So he's gay.
No.
No,
Big T has a very important thing to say,
Oh dear.
and we should read it. We should read it loudly and proudly.
Bill Zach, the SSV Normandy SR2.
I'm gonna fucking need that.
I don't know what that is.
Well, do your damn research, motherfucker.
I probably won't.
No, don't worry. I'll do it for you. I'll forward the blueprints. And I know they exist because I've played all of the Mass Effect games, so I know it for a fact. Also, Tyro is very right. He says, I reinforce Drake and Zach's biases, therefore they know I am correct.
But he also said that it could have been a broadcast from an alternate reality.
Which is still a viable reality and therefore totally okay.
But not this reality.
Also, there was a tweet.
There was a tweet.
It says hashtag ship for Zach. This is totally correct. I have retweeted it.
Oh dear.
Alright, Zach. I'll make you a deal.
No deal. Give me a goddamn space pirate ship or else.
I will make you a deal.
Or else I will take Sparky and shove him up your demon ass.
I will make you a deal.
I don't think you understand how this deal is working.
Zach, just let him tell you the deal, then you can tell him no.
I don't think it's going to be a good idea.
Just let him tell you the deal.
Fine, then.
You
Look-
bring me someone for this show that can not only entertain the chat, but thinks differently than we do. As soon as you do that, I will make you a pirate ship.
I really don't think you want us doing that.
I wasn't talking to you.
I don't think you understand. See, Zach knows the same people that I know and the same people that Shade knows.
I
the
think
people-
this could be entertaining.
And the people that we know, A, would not come on this channel. And B, if they did, we'd lose. We are not prepared for that caliber of individual.
Oh, nice callback to your previous tagline. Very well done.
I don't think the trio knew about my previous tagline.
Then they should have done
We
their
did.
I found that amusing.
Do the thing. Hashtag do the thing. What thing are we talking about, Kadant? Oh, never mind. Hashtag shove Sparky and Antoine. Gotcha.
No, she says you are not prepared. That's the thing she's talking about.
I haven't used that tagline in months.
Which
have
thing
any-
am I supposed to do?
I don't know what thing you're supposed to do.
Oh, I'm supposed to push the button. Okay.
No, don't
But,
push the button.
Tyro, I'm going to wait to push the button. All right? I will push it, though, just for you. Don't worry.
Is he allowed to push the button?
No, he's not allowed to push the button.
You were very explicit about keeping our fingers off the buttons.
Could you please explain
Yes.
why I'm not supposed to push any buttons?
Because you don't know what you're...
Oh dear.
I've pushed the button. There you go, Tyro. The button was pushed.
Do not touch any of the buttons on my circuit board.
I pushed the
Like
button just for you, Tyro. Ah, she pushed the button too.
It's a button pushing extravaganza.
He's so furious right now. I wish everyone could see it.
He's fuming.
Stop pushing buttons.
He looks like a strawberry now.
You know, most people enjoy it when women push their buttons and they get to watch.
I
You're
don't.
not pushing the right buttons.
I don't understand the point of it.
It's all right, Zach. You don't need to understand.
Why would you have such very strange social interactions?
Ask Drake. I'm sure he'll explain it.
I had asked, and he said I want.
Oh,
There, I pushed
Dick
the button
bag.
as well.
You spiky-faced dickbag.
Spiky-faced dickbag.
Look at you. Clearly, it's a spiky face. Clearly, you are a dickbag. The chat has no problem with my words.
The chat hasn't said anything about your words.
You're right. That's why they don't have a problem with them.
There's a delay, Zach. You have
Nope,
to give them
nope.
a second.
You'll watch. You'll see. They have no problem with that.
Furry in Finley says his nipples are buttons.
Nobody touched those either. That's gross.
Like, all joking aside, nipples are the last thing I want anyone to touch from me. Like, they do nothing for me. Like, a woman walks up to me, is like, oh, I'm going to play with your nipples. And I'm just like, nope. Completely uninterested. Now, if you had said you could play with my dick, that'd be a different story, but not the nips. Just weird.
Apparently, I had someone send me blueprints on Twitter.
Oh, look, the chat's helping you get your pirate ship, Zach.
Damn, Skippy.
I am not making you this.
Is it the Normandy?
Yes,
Is it the SR2 Normandy?
it's the SR3.
Yay. I accept. Thank you. I will bring someone on the show.
You did make the deal, Antoine.
I did.
I accept your deal.
But he did have criteria. You have to live up to the criteria.
Oh, I know exactly who to go check with.
Oh dear.
And I guarantee she'll have a great time.
Better start building, Antoine.
God damn it.
And let's face it, we all know that you're not going to build a damn thing. You're going to call Sparky and then yell at him.
Well, hold
Probably.
on. Part of this deal has to be made right now. Sparky does not touch my ship.
Why? He seems
Because
competent.
Sparky seems to believe that he owes me some explosives.
He owes you some explosives?
Yes, for explosions he believes I made happen in his lab.
But you did make them happen in his lab.
No, I did not.
Wasn't that Shade?
And Zach.
So that's still partially you.
Nope, I am me. I am not them.
You are, however, in the same body.
That's a minor technicality.
No, that's a logistic fact.
Instead of a pirate ship, you should work on, I don't know, coming up with a way to split the three of you into different bodies.
I'm not sure that'd be a good idea.
I'm not sure that it would be a bad idea.
There was a very strange note in your voice, Sarah, that made me think about other things beyond being in this broadcast booth.
You're welcome.
Maybe I should look into that.
Just whichever body you put Shade in, make sure it's durable.
She has a point.
I think I'm being hit on.
No.
Pretty sure I just got hit on.
Just giving a piece of advice.
Kadant apparently wants a foursome with the trio, so, I mean, there's that.
Anytime she wants, we can help her out with that. She knows where I'm at. She's got keys to my place.
Already?
She also put a bell around your neck.
How
Where
did you
do you-
get that off, by the way?
Very carefully.
I'm disappointed.
In what?
The fact that you got it off.
If it makes you feel any better, I still have the bell on.
Oh.
It's just not where you can see it.
Ah.
Ew.
It jingles when I get an erection.
Yes, we got the idea of where it was.
I
Thank
wanted
you.
to make sure you understood.
Oh, I'm sorry. She said she didn't want to foursome with you. She just throws out hashtags.
She says that, but it's not where she was last night.
Do I need to bring her on to put you straight?
You can make a valid effort to do so if you really wanted to. We'll see how far that gets. I'm pretty sure that would just quickly devolve into you being insulted yet again.
Oh no, Zar. It was not multiple personality disorders. It was headmates. Headmates are that fun version of MPD that Tumblr created. It's not necessarily a real thing.
We don't have any headmates. There are three very separate, distinct personalities that really don't even like each other half the time. But we're stuck here for the duration.
Of eternity?
Pretty much.
Have fun with that one.
Not really.
Well, like I said, you could always try to find a way to split yourselves apart.
I'm not entirely certain if I even know a way to go about researching that, frankly.
Kadant says hashtag split the trio. You know what? I could probably look some things up.
I don't think I like the way you would go about the splitting.
You don't even know what I would do.
Yeah, but it sounds gay, and that sounds like right up your alley.
How did that sound gay?
You gonna try and split me, Antoine? Is that it? When I'm not looking?
All I said is I could look things up for you.
I don't want you to look up anything.
You are... Kadant says Zach is best. Hashtag Zach is best. Hashtag Drake is fine. Hashtag bye Shade.
Well, at least Shade doesn't come out very often.
Pity.
Yeah, I know you like him a lot, but he's supposed to be kept under lock and key for a reason.
Well, Zach is my favorite, but Shade's a close second.
He's apparently everyone's favorite.
He's
I
adorable.
don't like Zach.
You
Well,
don't have...
that's probably why he comes out so often.
When I went to go find you three, I was actually looking for more along the lines of you and Shade.
Be a bad combination. You see, we kind of have to have Zach around.
Zach does provide a lovely distraction.
Well, we're basically balanced this way.
I agree. Zach is definitely the leader of the trio.
I think you've managed to offend both of the other boys.
It's not wrong. Zar also said we can try alchemy. It worked great for the Elric brothers.
Pretty sure that it failed.
That did not go according to plan, no.
How's it going, self-surgery? Self-surgery says Zach is the gay.
I'm addressing that as we speak.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm pretty sure Zach doesn't even really understand what sex is.
Not really.
He seems to get very nervous when you start talking about sexual things.
Have you seen him get anywhere near you, Sarah?
Yes, usually when I have ice cream.
He freaks out.
Zach is a little on the childish side.
Yes, that's probably why he only comes around when I have ice cream.
He's not exactly up on the way the world works. He tends to shy away from things like, the actual acts of vampirism, sexuality, things like that.
Regular responsibilities?
No, he's good at some of those. I mean, he's the one who works at the morgue.
Well, at least you get your bills paid.
We don't need to work there to do it. He just likes working at the morgue.
But he doesn't work at the morgue anymore.
And that's what you think. We still work at the morgue.
You just went and found the local morgue?
Uh-huh. We've got literally 50 years of morgue work under our belt.
That would be an excellent resume.
How do you explain away the fact that you look like you're 23?
Plastic surgery.
Oh. Well, that's... Okay, that's self-explanatory, I guess. Zar says that's the brothers, he's talking about the Eldrick brothers, that's only because they were trying to bring back their dead mother. You're just trying to make a couple of bodies and transferring souls. What could possibly go wrong? Lots of things.
Are you individual souls, or are you just different personalities?
That would depend entirely on your thought process of whether or not the undead have souls.
No, I know you have at least one soul.
Do we?
I haven't looked into it in depth. Maybe I should take the time to do so. Should be more entertaining than repeatedly locking Antoine in the broadcast booth.
That's not happening again.
You went in there fairly easily last time.
I also found out that's the only way I can get hammered is to drink 12 crates of vodka.
Plus an extra bottle. Moxley had a great deal of fun sitting outside and mocking you while drinking his own bottle.
Yes, I'm going to deal with Moxley shortly.
You got made fun of by a My Little Pony. Twilight Sparkles called you a bitch.
Yes, and as soon as the doors opened, he ran away.
They said that your cutie mark was little tofu squares. They called you a faggot. Yep, that's what happened. That is exactly why I was there. I saw it all. It was crazy. They called you a gay pony boy. They said they were going to line you up and use you to collect samples, if you catch my drift.
I will agree with self-surgery. Moxley is the best brony. You do know what a brony is, right, Zach?
I have been made aware of the term, and I think it's very, very sad. Also, we should say hi to Tema. Hi, Tema!
Hello, Temma the Hun.
Greetings, Tema. You have walked into the Army of Snarkness. I am trying to ingratiate my two new hosts to the chat. Apparently,
Okay.
Zach is doing a wonderful job. Drake is being Drake, and Shade is so far hated. So there's that.
That is perfectly acceptable.
And Sarah is quiet, like she should be.
Ooh.
You know,
That
if
was
I
an
cared
interesting
about your
statement.
opinion, that would probably hurt. But since I don't,
If she cared about your opinion, she'd tell you what the fuck it was.
I'm sure she could try.
Could we
say that like I'm going to take that as a challenge.
could we maybe give some of those wrenchless people some wrenches? 'Cause we have an Atema who has no wrench, and a self-surgery who has no wrench, and a Tyro who has no wrench. And I can vouch for all three of those people that they are worth wrenching.
Wrenching their souls out of their bodies?
I was actually going to say wrench their arms out of their fucking sockets, but that works too.
Wrenching one's soul out of the body does tend to be very painful.
That
Excellent
depends on women.
interrogation technique. You pull it out and let it snap back like a rubber band. They scream a lot.
That would depend on the caliber of person.
I'm terribly sorry to have bored you.
No, you haven't bored me.
Apparently, we have Will Honorless in the chat and Loki.
Will,
Right.
Loki, welcome to the chat.
How's it going, guys? Is there we've been going for a while. Is there anything you guys would like to bring up? Well, okay, let me ask this. Sarah, is there anything you want to talk about? Since we have talked about vampire rights and pirate
But we
ships.
didn't talk about vampire rights.
Uh,
We didn't talk
Why
about that at
Bring
all.
that up.
We didn't talk about anything to do with the rampant oppression of vampire peoples. This is very important, and we should discuss it. If we're going to talk about things that are political in nature, we need to discuss this.
do we?
Yes, we're an oppressed race.
Are you sure?
People call us undead. Do you
You
know
are
how
undead.
offensive? You bastard son of a bitch. That is a horrible racial slur. I am not undead. I am differently alive.
You're
My heart
undead.
still beats, although at an incredibly repressed rate. Just because I require the blood of other sentient species to survive does not mean I am a lesser person.
I never said you were a lesser person.
You
I just
are
said you're undead.
dehumanizing me by telling me that I am undead. You are classing me with your undead nonsense, and I refuse to conform to your stereotype. Just because you have the power and the privilege does not mean that my voice will go unheard.
Antoine, apologize to him.
That's not happening.
Tyro's correct. I am mortally challenged. And I am very upset about your choice of terminologies.
If you are mortally challenged, and Sarah is mortally challenged, and I am mortally challenged, then we are all on the same page.
No, but you are using it as a pejorative term.
Antoine, if you don't apologize, he's going to keep going.
I have now discovered my true calling in life.
You
It's
see
to be
what
a
you've done?
pirate, captain, social justice, vampire advocate.
Oh dear.
I will be captain, social vampire. Social death monkey vampire. It is the best pirate name of all
Social
time.
death monkey vampire.
Yes. They will call me SDMV. Captain SDMV. And I'll be the most terrifying pirate captain of the seven
You know
social
what?
justice seas.
You know what, Captain SDMV? Why don't you hashtag that out on Twitter?
I
If
may do
you-
exactly that at a later point in time, but right now we're talking about the most important thing of the evening, which are clearly vampire minorities and their civil rights. Do not think you can dissuade me or derail me.
Can we talk about it on a different show, Zach? Where we can
No,
give. We don't have much more time on the show.
but
If we
that's
get
because no one brought up vampire rights until just now. I was
exactly,
waiting for
if
my
we wait,
cue.
if we wait for another show, then we have an entire show that you could talk about it.
You mean
Lots
I could
more
talk
time.
for a whole 2 hours upon vampire rights and the way we're being oppressed by the rest of the living majority?
You can try, yes.
I could do that, you know.
Then why don't we do that at a later date?
So what you're telling me is that if I don't talk more about this now, I can have an entire show to myself next week.
Yes.
All
Something-
right.
I did not agree to this.
Too late. The chat heard you.
It
Shut
doesn't
up,
matter if the
Antoine.
chat heard me.
Antoine,
I-
shut up.
The chat heard you.
Shut up.
The chat has heard.
We'll distract him later.
Yep.
Fine. Sarah,
Yes.
darling,
Mm.
what would you like to talk about?
I've forgotten what I was going to say. I got distracted by Zach.
Antoine, don't you dare bring a goddamn vampire hunter onto here.
I
They're
have
like
to.
the KKK
I have
of
to-
vampires.
I have to do it. The chat has spoken.
No, fine, but I'll eat them.
As long as you wait until after they've had a chance to speak.
No, we have to deplatform them. They can't be allowed to speak.
If we bring them on, then they're guests. You have to be nice. to
No, we
them.
have to eat them.
You can eat them afterwards.
We have to silence the hatred by any means necessary.
Good PR. We want people to come on to the show.
We have to silence the anti-vampire hatred by any means necessary. We have been oppressed for far too long. We will not stand for this nonsense. No longer will the humanarchy be able to oppress us.
The what?
The humanarchy.
The humanarchy.
Yes.
The,
What is the humanarchy?
It's like the patriarchy, but it's all
Um,
people instead of just male people.
Zach, have you
What?
been watching a lot of Decoded?
She's a lovely woman.
We need to talk to Drake really quickly, please.
He usually goes to sleep when I turn that sort of thing on.
Can we talk? Can we talk to him?
No, he's busy right now.
What about
And you-
Shade?
You can't control me, you human anarchist bastard.
Shade, you're a bitch.
Nope, he's not paying attention to you right now.
God damn it.
Your claims of his bitchiness have fallen on deaf ears. My heart is the heart of stone.
Shade, if you come out, Sarah will flash you.
Antoine is
What?
not my president.
I
Antoine
will
is not
do
my
no
president.
such thing.
Antoine is not my president.
You're right. I'm not your president. I'm your fucking
Antoine is
boss.
not my employer. I
Zach,
didn't elect him.
Zach,
What?
Antoine cannot be part of the humanarchy. He's not human.
Hey, ho, ho. The humanarchy has to go. Hey, ho, ho. Self-surgery is chanting with me. Look, it says so in the chat.
Oh dear.
Well,
You
wait.
see what-
Miss
stop it.
Will Arnold.
All you have to do is show your girly bits to Shade, and he'll come out, and Zach will go away.
Will Honorless.
I am
All
not.
you have to do is
showing
stand in
my
solidarity with the anti-humanarchy brethren of the vampires of America, and I promise you we will not consume you until there is no one left to consume. This could take a while, as there are 7.2 billion people on Earth. You're guaranteed to live out your life in comfort.
Oh god. Sorry, I had to hit the button. I had to. I can't. He just. And you know what? I'm sure as shit he's still going.
Probably.
I'm going to kill you all.
Well, that's very violent of you.
I'm sorry, I spoke ill. I have to remember that just because you're human doesn't mean you can't be spoken to with love.
I'm not human.
Close enough, you human anarchist bastard.
I'm not human.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are
Prove
you
it.
sure you're not a humanarchist ally?
You think you sound like an ally.
Sarah. Sarah.
She's
Darling,
right.
I
I'm
want-
inclined to believe that Sarah is an ally of the Vampire Alliance of America, the VLA.
Absolutely.
She clearly is. She is part of the VAA, and you are nothing more than a human anarchist ally. You are supporting the humanarchy, and I find it to be horrible. You are a deplorable person. Fucking deplorable. You and all your friends are just a basket of deplorables. You probably voted for Trump. Look at you, filching your tentacles into things. Just being all weird and human-y.
Yeah.
Probably
Do you
chips in
know what a
bed.
human is? Humans don't have tentacles.
You probably eat chips in bed, you human anarchist ally, you.
I don't eat anything.
You probably eat crackers in bed, too. And you probably go around having procreative sex.
I don't produce bodily fluids.
You're disgusting. You're probably a white man, too.
I'm completely black.
Oh, so now you're gonna pull the race card, huh? Isn't that just like all the humans?
I think this was the best thing I've done all stream.
Human anarchist. Fucking prejudiced. You bigoted piece of shit.
I don't even, you know what?
No, self-surgery is very right. Why do you have to be black, you racist?
Because I am black. The color
Racist.
of my skin is black.
You bigoted shithead. I can't believe you would try to pull race into this. It has nothing to do with race. It's merely that you're human.
Oh, so you're a speciesist?
No, you are. You're the one who's in power. I cannot be speciesist.
You make my head hurt, Zach.
It's the demontation. It's working.
It doesn't work on me. It doesn't work on me. It can't work on me.
It seems to be working just fine.
I'm not human. It doesn't work.
Will Honolus says you're in blackface. This explains a lot. So you're not just a human anarchist ally, you're also a racist human anarchist ally?
Antoine,
You are just like a trifecta of awful.
you should be ashamed of yourself.
You should be.
Sarah, you and I are going to have words later.
No, because that would be anger and violence towards a woman. You misogynist. So now we have racial hatred, species hatred, and violence towards women. This means that you are a human anarchy ally, a bigot, and a misogynist. How dare you?
Bow your head in shame, Antoine.
Know your shame. Nope, shame. Chant with me. Shame. 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 should
You're
feel the
the only
agony.
one saying anything.
I don't care. I hear enough voices in my head to have a chorus. Misogynist Twan. Hashtag racist human anarchist ally misogynist Twan.
Even
Pyro
Twan-
chants with me. Go ahead.
Antoine, are you all right? You should
I'm fine.
I think we broke him.
No.
Antoine.exe has stopped working.
I'm just wondering if Shade has anything to say about being called a bitch-made vampire.
Who called him that?
Loki.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't listen to Loki because he thinks Loki's a shithead.
Oh.
Well, at least you're clear on that.
Also, Loki's probably a human anarchist ally.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Or a human anarchist himself.
Loki, are you human? Hashtag 404 Antoine not found.
Aww.
Loki says, I win.
I don't even see where it says that he's a bitch-made vampire. Like, I'm looking and I'm not actually seeing it.
Are you looking at live chat or are you looking at top chat?
I'm looking at live chat. I don't understand.
Then you need to scroll up before it says Black Twan is a humanist anarchy misogynist. Humanarchy misogynist.
That's because you are.
That's not.
Nope. Everyone
that's not
heard
a
it.
real thing.
Everyone fucking heard it. Everyone saw that. It's reality now. It's canon. It's part of the lore.
I'm not human.
It's part of the lore.
But you are an ally.
I'm not. If I say I'm not, he's just going to say something stupid.
He will probably argue with you.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter what I say.
Oh,
I could say that I could say that my mother was a
Somebody
vampire.
has
It
asked
won't
me a
matter.
question. You are talking over me.
I don't
This is
care.
clearly human anarchist ally procedure. Look at this. This is how they do it, folks.
I don't know what he's talking about. But is there anything you'd like to say otherwise, Sarah? Since you started all this.
You should absolutely be ashamed of yourself, and you should probably open your eyes and come over to the Vampire Alliance.
I was going to answer Will Honorless's question.
Go ahead, dear.
I was muted by a whore.
Oh,
Sarah, why would you mute him?
I was talking about you, Dick Twan.
I'm not a whore.
Yeah, that's not what Sarah said. Anyway, the question was, does being controlled by a goddess count as being human? Because I think my eyes weren't always like this. Well, just because you're being controlled or influenced by a divine being does not necessarily mean that you aren't still human. I mean, technically speaking, according to several philosophies, gods and goddesses have a distinct fate and interaction with people in the first place. The real question is, were you augmented beyond humanity or not? If the answer to that question is yes, you were augmented above and beyond humanity, then you might not count as human anymore. But of course, you should be aware that this doesn't stop you from being a human anarchist ally. And you have to be aware of your privileges, both being human and being a beyond human. Being superhuman still gives you some privileges, as a human, and you should be aware of those. And you should remember that you owe vampires like myself, who are oppressed minorities, some form of reparations.
what type of reparations do you think would be fair?
Blood.
How much?
All of it. But over a given period of time is totally acceptable.
Well,
So you want blood from someone who doesn't have bodily fluids?
Well, I don't want any blood from you. But I'll allow you to select other people to pay your reparations while you grovel.
I'm not going to grovel at you.
Shh. His body has no soul in it. This also does not necessarily mean that you aren't human. It does mean you are, however, a husk. And because of that, you are also an oppressed minority. You are welcome to join the Vampire Alliance anytime you wish.
you must renounce your human anarchist ways, however.
You do. You have to renounce your human anarchist ways and join the side of truth and righteousness throughout the world. Because everyone knows we are right because they are wrong.
Why?
Because you're wrong.
Why is he wrong?
Because I'm right.
Why are you right?
Because you're wrong. I don't understand the problem here.
You have to explain why you're right before you can convince me to denounce my ways.
I just did. It's very simple. I am right because you are wrong, and you are wrong because I am right.
This doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. Does your head hurt?
No.
Are you sure? Because you answered that very quickly.
You've
Yes,
also
sure.
been beating it against the console for the majority of this stream.
I
The
have been.
dementation is working.
I'm not.
Could you stop tapping on your microphone, please? That's very irritating.
So, is there anything else you would like to say to the
Ah,
So, Sarah, what are we going to talk about?
well, let's see. I'm in the mood for ice cream.
Ice cream sounds fantastic.
Are you feeling all right after having eaten all of those donuts?
I'm feeling pretty good, actually. No stomach trouble, as I was expecting.
That's good to hear. Then perhaps we should go and get ice cream after the stream.
That sounds like a perfectly wonderful idea.
Baskin Robbins or Cold Stone Creamery?
I'll Cold Stone every fucking time.
Cold Stone it is. Antoine, do you want to come with and get ice cream?
I don't know if he knows he's muted.
I don't think he knows either.
So, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Army of Snarkness. My name, of course, is Antoine the Great, and I've been joined by my co-hosts, the trio, Zach, Drake, and Shade.
How's it going?
As well as Sarah.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. And this will be a weekly show, so I hope you join us next week at 7 o'clock PST. And we will hopefully have a little bit more to talk about this time. Have a good night, everyone.
Good evening.
Bye.